Good evening. Welcome to today's class. My name is Milly Mweresa. I shall take you through this first topic of public procurement. So the unit is public procurement, but the topic is introduction to public procurement. So introduction is all about the overview, the general overview of public procurement. What is public procurement? What is the public sector? What are the guiding principles in public procurement? How is it applicable, or what is the applicability of public procurement? Then we go to the history of public procurement, then the guiding principles of public procurement, then sustainability. So those are some of the subtopics that shall be handled in the introduction part of public procurement. So to start us off, we shall have to define public procurement and the scope of public procurement. Are we supposed to use public procurement in the private sector? Is it applicable? What are the rules guiding public procurement? Because public procurement is guided by the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act. So there is a law and there is a regulation that governs public procurement. So if you are to conduct public procurement, then you have to make sure you follow the law in form of the act and you follow the regulations. So public procurement, the definition of terms, the major terms used in public procurement. If we say we are procuring in the public institution, in the public sector, which is this public sector? Then we head to the objectives of public procurement. What does public procurement aim to achieve? Things like to maximize economy, to be able to maximize efficiency, to promote integrity, to promote fair competition, to optimize costs. So all those are part of the objectives of public procurement. Then we head to the evolution of public procurement. Where did public procurement come from? Some people suggest that procurement is the oldest profession. By old, we mean it has been there for a long period of time. As much as it was not done professionally, there has always been exchange of goods for money. That is procurement. So when this is now done or taken to a professional level, then it makes it even better, because now we have the guiding principles, we have policies, we have the laws that govern public procurement. So we shall look at the evolution of public procurement in 5 different areas. The colonial period and after the Second World War, what used to happen in public procurement. Then we head to the post-colonial period, then the World Bank period, then the public procurement reforms period. There was a period we call the public procurement reforms period, where there was a lot of reforms in the public procurement sector. And that is from 2001 to 2009, before we now head to the constitution period to date. The constitution period is from 2010 up to today. So it means procurement has evolved. Something has been changing since the colonial era or the colonial period up to this particular moment. So as we go on, you should be able to notice what are the changes, exactly what has changed. Because for us to say this was the first phase, then this is the second phase, then we have the third, the fourth, and the fifth, it means there is something that is changing. So it is important for you to note exactly from this period to this other period, what changed, what made it unique. And then after we have looked at the evolution, it is the biggest part of public procurement, the evolution or the history. So sometimes you just need to understand the unit you are doing, the course you are taking, where did it come from? Because if you know where something came from, you can easily know where it is going to. So it means we can easily predict the next 10 years, the next 20 years of public procurement by just looking at the history of public procurement. Then we shall head to the principles that guide public procurement. There are several principles that guide public procurement. If you are to undertake public procurement, then what principles have to be in place? So I can mention a few, like the national values and principles of governance. Then we have the equality and freedom from discrimination. Those are principles that guide public procurement. Affirmative action programs, principle of integrity. You've always heard people talk about integrity when it comes to public procurement. So principles of integrity, the principles of public finance, values and principles of the public service, because public procurement entails public service and involves public servants. So it means there has to be values and principles that partake to the public service. The promotion of local industry. The local industry is supposed to be promoted by public procurement. By the time we go to international procurement to be able to buy things from outside the country, we should have used all the local suppliers, exhausted all the local suppliers, because it aims to promote the local industry. Another principle is maximization of value for money. You have to get value for your money. Remember, public procurement uses public resources, including taxes. So there has to be value for money achieved through the public resources. Information flow, etc. So basically, those are the guiding principles to public procurement. Then we shall go ahead, look at the role of public procurement on the socio-economic development. What role does public procurement play when it comes to the development of the social and economic aspects or elements in the society? So we shall look at the role of public procurement. And these roles are simple roles like ensuring best value for money, promoting innovation, ensuring sustainability. So what is the role of procurement on the social economic development? So that is important for us to understand. And then we head to sustainable public procurement. Is public procurement sustainable? Can it sustain or can it be sustained in the near future? Because from now on, we need to look at public procurement and look at it in form of, can it be able to be sustainable in the near future? And the areas or the pillars of sustainability are usually three. It is economic sustainability. Can it be sustained economically? If we look at the economy now, is it sustainable in terms of public procurement in the near future? We can look at the second pillar is the environmental sustainability. Remember, public procurement uses natural resources to be able to produce the end result or the end product that is supposed to be taken to the customers. So is it environmentally sustainable? These raw materials that suppliers are using now, what will happen in the next 30 years? Do we have elements of recycling? Because those elements of recycling is whatever makes the environment to be sustainable. So, and the last pillar of sustainable procurement is social sustainability. So we look at the rights of human beings, labor rights, conducive working environment. So all these factors deal with the social element of public procurement. So those three pillars will enable us to understand if procurement is sustainable or not. By procurement being sustainable, it can be able to help us in the near future. We can still be talking about public procurement. And if it is not sustainable, it means in the near future there will be no vocabulary like public procurement, because nothing will be working in public procurement. So we have to make sure it is sustainable so that the generations that are coming ahead of us, they can still enjoy public procurement that we enjoy. Remember, public procurement is not for profit. It is to help the entire society, the entire people of a particular nation, because the government buys not to be able to make profit, but to be able to sustain the masses, to be able to provide services to groups of individuals and individuals at a lower price. So if we lose public procurement and we are only left with the private procurement, then it means things will be too costly for a common citizen. So we have to look at the sustainability part of procurement to ensure it can be sustainable in the near future. So all those are some of the subtopics we shall be looking at in the introduction part of public procurement, and I hope we can be able to analyze and expand more on those areas that I've just mentioned. So thank you. I hope we can be able to meet and see to the details of such areas that I have just mentioned.